Hello people and fellow comrades, welcome to my voice review. Today, as the title suggests, we will be redesigning Beelzebub while I give you my opinion on Helluva Boss. For starters, I wanna apologize for the audio quality. I don't know how this is gonna sound since it's my first ever time recording a video with my voice, but you know, we live and we learn, and hopefully next time it will sound a lot better. Disclaimer. I wanna say that I am a big fan of Helluva Boss. What Viv did with her independent animation studio is really impressive. Plus you can watch it for free on YouTube, which is also really cool, and that is really commendable. Though Helluva Boss still is very flawed, and I wanted to talk about that for a bit. I was a big fan of Helluva Boss until about episode 5, where I felt like the show shifted its narrative and started to focus more on the relationship between Blitz and Stolas instead of that being more of like a side plot, which I didn't really mind at first, but I also felt like the show didn't really explain how their relationship developed. At the start it seems like they had a contractual type of relationship where, in exchange for the grimoire, Bliss will sleep with Stolas every month. However, we never get to see when Bliss or Stolas developed feelings outside of the contractual obligations that they both had. Like, we never get to see when Bliss started to shift his perspective on Stolas, viewing him as the ideal type of relationship, as we get to see in episode 6, or when Stolas starts to gain feelings outside of the carnal desire for Blitz. None of that is shown in this show, they only shift after episode 6. But I guess that's besides the point. After the shift, I started to slightly doubt the show, but I still enjoyed watching the episodes, especially episode 7, which, even though not consistent with the episodes before it, except the last part of episode 6, was still an entertaining time. Plus, it's got the best song in the show. Then season 2 arrived, and things only went downhill from there. Like, I'm sorry, but I hate what they have done with the relationship between Blitz and Stolas. Them meeting as kids is so unnecessary and ruins so much of their relationship. Like, it was so deep before, but now it's just Plus, we also find out Stolas is like about 30 years old instead of being like a 1,000-year-old demon like most of us thought. And also Stella is now more one-dimensional than ever, being born as evil incarnate and tormenting Stolas since they met. That aside, since I'm getting off track, this video is a bit late, as you can probably tell. It was supposed to come out after episode 8 did, but I'm slow, so sorry for that. In any case, I can also give you my opinion on the newest episode of Helluva Boss, since I have already seen it. Starting with episode 8, I thought it was alright. Like, the first half kinda dragged a bit, especially the music number, which occupies like a third of the episode. Also, speaking of the song, I didn't really like it. Like, it's fine and serves its purpose. The beat is really catchy, but I truly can't get on board with the lyrics. They are literally the most bare-bone lyrics. Plus, some of them don't really make sense. Like, the animation though was fantastic, marvelous, chef's kiss. Oh, and also there's Kesha. Like, my gosh, that is so cool they got her to be in this episode, and it's definitely a win for all animation everywhere. I'll talk more about Beelzebub later though, don't you worry. So, after B's introduction and when snap back to reality, she gets really upset and wants to go home, calls Bliss and asks him to pick her up. He rushes there as fast as he can, and after being spoken to once, Luna changes her mind immediately and forces Bliss to stay at the party. And even though this literally makes no sense, it's after this moment that the episode picks up and ends up being very interesting. We see Blitz indulging in his self-destructive tendencies, getting drunk and all that. And we also see Luna take care of him later, which is so cute and finally shows that she can actually be a good daughter and cares for her dad, even though episode 2 of season 2 deletes all of that, because who needs character development anyways? The only real problem I have with this episode is when it's revealed that Tex's girlfriend is actually Beelzebub. Like, I feel like at this point Viv has no idea what she's doing with her world building, because this literally contradicts everything that we knew until this point. Like, how does no one care that one of the top ranking people, like there's probably like one person above her, which is Lucifer, is dating literally like sentient dogs, which I feel like that's what hellhounds basically are, because you can adopt them as a pound. I mean, there's no other explanation. Like, of course, Viv still hasn't established, like, what are they? Like, are they bodyguards? Or are they pets? Slaves, maybe? Nobody knows. But it also seems like they're literally beneath imps. So, and also Stolas doesn't rank as high as Beelzebub, obviously. So, if they're dating and nobody cares, then why should we care about Stolas and Blitz? Why does anybody in hell care about Stolas and Blitz at this point? Like, why is that so important if literally there are other people with, I mean, a larger gap in status? Like, this makes no sense, and I really don't know what Viv is trying to accomplish here. In the end, episode 8 was just alright, but still much better than most of season 2, even though it was not really a plot-heavy episode. Now, the same cannot be said for the newest episode. Like, I'ma be honest, I really didn't like it. I can say that for the previous episodes, but this one was really just a punch in the gut. First of all, this is basically a filler episode, which I truly don't think a show like Helluva Boss should have, since they are a web show and don't have the budget as other TV shows do. And I really believe that they shouldn't waste their budget on this type of episode that basically do nothing for the story at all. Also, this episode feels like it belongs at the beginning of the first season. Like, bro, why is it here? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Also, I see people saying that it's the episode everyone has been waiting for that develops Millie, which is a lie. Sure, she gets a bit more screen time than usually, but the one who gets development here is still Moxie, since it's him who changes and learns as the episode goes on. The only interesting thing here is the introduction of Barbie Wire, which I can say was pretty alright, even though we barely see her, and her only personality traits are that she is a drug addict who got out of rehab, and also hates Bliss. But I still think that's better than almost everything in the episode. Like, at this point, Moxie has 4 episodes dedicated to him. We don't need another one. We already know he's a wimpy imp who, like basically everyone in the show, has daddy issues and needs to be validated, which he is by his wife Millie. That he also likes to overthink and overplan things, unlike Blitz. We already knew that. Why is this episode here? Do you see what I mean by when I say this episode belongs in the beginning of season 1, when they introduced the characters? Gosh, what were the writers thinking? I also might add that this episode's comedy missed by a long shot. Like, almost none of the jokes landed. I didn't find the bit where Moxie pretends to be a girl funny. The heroin bit was very bad, and also the last insect joke was really unnecessary and overall quite terrible. And it's also not like I don't enjoy dark humor. I love dark humor, but this was just so terribly executed. I literally was rolling my eyes during every bit of this episode. The only jokes I found funny were when the poor boy was abused by Millie like 50 times. And the coach being like, yeah, just walk it off. I guess that was kind of funny. Also, the subtitles while Moxie was singing was kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways. Okay, so now on to the main topic of the video, Beelzebub. So, I don't really think the design is terrible, like it looks pretty good. and I really like Viv's style anyway, so I've never seen like a terrible character design from her. But also like this is such a convoluted design, plus she doesn't even really look like she's part insect. Like, I know that she's supposed to be part fox, even though that doesn't really make sense. But I guess I just wanted them to add a bit more insect features. Like, I don't want them to turn her into a full-on bee fly type of character, since Cash is playing her, and I bet that they wouldn't give her such an ugly character to play. For reference, this is what the original Beelzebub looks like. Plus, I know that this is Viv's own spin on the character, since the original Beelzebub is actually a male, and he's also a fly. So, that's what I mean when I say that I'm redesigning Viv's Beelzebub specifically. I will be also drawing her in a furry form. I'ma try to give her a bit more insect features, since Viv didn't really do that. Also, I really don't understand the color pattern. She has like this blue mohawk type of hair, and then the flowing lava lamp back hair, which kind of feels a bit disjointed. Like, from this angle it feels kind of weird, but then from other angles it looks better. I don't know. Also, like, the blue feels a bit out of place, but it still doesn't really bother me. Also, I really don't understand that little flame on top of her head, but you know, it is what it is. Her clothes are also really basic. Like, I don't expect her to dress like super fancy or anything, since she's like the chill type of character, but still, this is like so meh. Plus, she looks so similar to Luna. Oh my gosh, she almost feels like a recolor. Just like bigger ears, different color scheme. Like, they almost have the same type of clothes. Viv, what are you doing? Give your character some more variety, please. The last thing I wanted to touch upon was her lava lamp type of belly. I kind of understand why it was done, since gluttony and stuff, but it feels so weird, and I don't really like it. It just feels a bit disjointed from the character, even though I know that she has lava lamp hair, but I feel like this is very unnecessary and just makes for an even more complicated design. Now, onto the things that I really like about this character. I really like the ears with the antenna thingies that she has on top. I feel like that's really creative, and I also incorporated that onto my design. And I really like her pattern on the legs and arms, where it feels like there's like black blobs, the only way that I can describe it. You know, these things that kind of look like gloves and stockings. I feel like these are pretty cool. I also incorporated them into my design. Now, on to the redesign. So, this is the post that I used for reference. I made it like that just so we could better compare the designs. So as you can see, I started by copying that position. Now, when it comes to the legs, I struggled a bit. I definitely knew that I didn't want to keep her like weird. I don't know if they thought to make it look a bit more bug-like, like these little things that she has instead of normal feet. I gave her normal wolf paws. I'm sorry, I tried to give her insect feet, but as you can see, I couldn't really figure it out, so I just gave her normal wolf paws. I changed her position a bit so that even though it's really similar to the original position, I just changed her hand positions, since I wanted her to be holding a cigarette, since her whole personality is like that. She's a drug addict furry, and we already know that hell people smoke, since we saw Luna smoke in episode 2 of season 2. Plus, I also changed her mouth to have this like sharp tooth thingy, which which I thought made her look just a little bit more bug-like. And I gave her antennas. I started to change her clothes design a bit as well, since I really wanted her to be different from Luna, which is, I think, her biggest flaw. I gave her also a fur collar, which I got the inspiration from by looking up terrible things such as bee furry, just to understand it a bit more and to give her that a bit more bug-like type of design. I also made her wings bigger and I made them look more like fly wings, or maybe even bee wings. Like, I don't understand what type of what is this, butterfly wings? I don't get that, I don't understand. I also used the alternate color palette instead of her normal one, since I really didn't understand the first one. Like, I incorporated blue still into the design, or like the clothes and stuff. I made it dark. I made it from this color palette over here. I also decided to change her hair. I liked the mohawk, but it also didn't really make sense, so I gave her a bit more of a normal hairstyle, which you will see me change a bit later. This is the design that I came up with. Though, after looking at it for some time and convincing myself that this is a good design, I realized that it was Garbaggio adjacent, and I decided to scrap this idea and make it look at least a bit more decent. So after the 5 stages of denial, I decided that I needed to fix this design a bit, since I really did think it looked pretty ugly. So the first thing I did, I made the ears bigger, since this was actually a part of the design that I really liked. And I also made the antennas longer. I also decided to fix the hair. I made it a bit more similar to Luna's, since the hair that I gave her looked really flat and it was pretty bad, if I do say so myself. I also fixed the fur, and instead of making it part of the jacket, I made it like her fur, and the sweater would be like an off-shoulder type of thing, like in her original design, but it was still a sweater. Also, instead of shorts, I decided to give her pants, and this was actually inspired by one of the Luna fan arts that I have seen on Pinterest, and I seen that somebody gave Luna pants, and I thought, wow, this looks pretty cool. I might give Beelzebub the same type of treatment. Also, I decided to give her serrated, I don't know if that's the correct word, serrated arms and legs, just to give her that a bit more bug-like design. Also, I made her eyelashes longer, and I also made her snout thinner. So this was a thing that I changed from the original design into my first iteration. But then I brought it back because I felt that the first one looked really, really terrible. Also, I changed the hair color pattern to a pattern that was a bit more similar to the original design. I made it so that she has a bit more of a darker part on the lightest part of her hair, just like you can see in the original design. I also removed her antenna because I felt like the face would be very cluttered. I also decided to give her eyeshadow, which wasn't present in the first design, and also I gave her this triangle-shaped pattern on her head. I also kept thinking whether I should keep the eyes dark and the pupils light, or if I should do the opposite. Now I realized that I forgot to mention that I changed her eyes from the original ones that were like really weird looking, like they were so not detailed. I don't even know how to explain it. It was just like the eye and the pupil, while everybody has like, I mean, all of the hellhounds, the imps have simple eye shapes, but Beelzebub is like a fox, which looks like a hellhound, so I gave her more hellhound type of eyes instead of the basic dots in the middle of the eye part that she had originally. So this is basically it. Hope you guys enjoyed my redesign and this video in general. Like, comment, share and subscribe. Bye bye!